Sonic Frontiers is a great Sonic game. It's also an open zone Sonic game, meaning that there are multiple miniature open worlds that Sonic gets to play in. So I thought it'd be fun to rank each of the islands in Sonic Frontiers from worst to best. Of course, all of these are just my opinions, you don't have to agree with them or feel insulted by them. These are just what I personally believe to be the best and worst open zones in the game. Anyways, without further ado, make sure to like and subscribe with the bell like the Giga Chad you are. And with that said, let's jump right into it. At our number 6 spot, as the worst island in Sonic Frontiers, we have Rhea Island. I think this one's an obvious pick. I think everyone watching this saw this coming. This isn't even a traditional open zone. It's literally just a story segment that is divided up into 4 different towers. Other than that, there is no open zone activities or anything to do here. You can explore the island and find some very beautiful locations, but you can't do anything at these locations. They serve zero purpose at all aside from being background imagery. Although I will give the island some credit, I think it's kinda obvious that they wanted to do more with Rhea Island, but something got in the way. No developer would put this much work into a map for no reason. They definitely wanted to make this into a traditional open zone, but I guess time constraints, budget, or whatever it was stopped them from finishing this island. It's very sad, honestly. It's a very beautiful map. Overall, I don't really have much to say about Rhea Island. It's just a huge missed opportunity. And I think everyone watching this video expected this, so you're correct. Anyways, let's move on. At our number 5 spot, we have Update 3 Ouranos Island. I know the comments are going to be very divided on this one, because Update 3 for Sonic Frontiers is both loved and hated by a lot of Sonic fans. Unfortunately, I am not one of the fans who like this update, but that's okay, it's just an opinion. My opinion isn't harming your opinion. Conceptually, I think this is a great idea for a final open zone. You get a climactic finish with a super cool final boss fight with all of Sonic's friends being playable. That sounds perfect. However, in its execution, it is far from perfect. First things first, getting started on this island feels very overwhelming. All of the previous islands had a very simple and easy to understand gameplay loop that was really addicting and extremely fun. It's what made Sonic Frontiers so great. But then you come in here and the gameplay loop is completely altered. You start out with Amy and now there's a whole new skill tree. You obtain skill points from platforming challenges now. There's a billion things slapped everywhere on the map, and instead of hunting down the memory tokens, you're now just searching for Chaos Emeralds. A lot is introduced to you in a matter of minutes. I think the problem with this update is that they tried to do too much. They were too ambitious with it. And look, I appreciate the ambition. As a Sonic fan, I love that stuff. But as a development team, you gotta know when to scale back the ambition to ensure that the product is fun. I appreciate that Sonic Team tried their hardest to give us one of the most explosive and insane updates imaginable for free, but it sounds too good to be true for a reason. And that's not even me taking a jab at Sonic Team. Sonic Frontiers is not a live service game, so they're not really earning much from just making a third update that is this ambitious. So the fact that they went out of their way to make this for free sounded way too good to be true, and to be honest, it kind of shows. Something that I like to imagine when it comes to this update is what a random player who is not a Sonic fan would do if they were just casually playing Sonic Frontiers and encountered this part of the game. I wonder how they would feel, because before this point, it's simple fun. You might even be loving the game. But as soon as you get to this point in the game, so much is slapped in your face at once. And even if you do manage to push through it, you'll reach the 5 trials you need to complete, which aren't bad by themselves, but are incredibly unbalanced, with Trial 5 and Trial 2 being very tedious and artificially challenging. I feel like that would end a lot of playthroughs. But to the game's credit, I did hear that they patched the difficulty on those trials. I don't know if it's true, because I went to play the patch version of Update 3 for a video, and I eventually stopped playing because I remembered why I didn't enjoy the update. All I know about the patch is that Twitter made some jokes about how they broke the difficulty balancing once again, except on the other side of the spectrum. My man Luke was catching hands for it. Overall, I don't like this island very much, but I will place it higher than Rhea because the final boss was sick. Absolutely amazing. I had a ton ton of fun with it, and it's the better final boss. And also, the playable characters are enjoyable. Sure, they're not perfect, but it's new, it's free content, it's fun. I'm sorry to be a negative Nancy, I don't even know if people use that term anymore, but I just don't like it. It doesn't mean that I'm calling it objectively bad and that it's a bad update overall. I just don't enjoy it, okay? You can enjoy it, I just don't. And if you do enjoy this, I'm happy you enjoy it. And with that said, let's move on. At number 4, we have Chaos Island. This is the point on the list where I believe everything going forward is great. Chaos Island is a great open zone. Now, it definitely does have its fair share of issues, I won't lie, such as the overuse of 2D sections that got pretty annoying fast. I don't know why they decided to put so much 2D on this island, but they did. It doesn't ruin the island or anything, but it's kind of just confusing. Also, traversing Chaos Island can sometimes feel like a chore. With how rocky the terrain is and how many parts of the map are separated in the sky, it can be pretty difficult trying to reach your destinations. Now, I will add that ever since momentum was added to the game, traversing Chaos Island has been a lot easier and more fun. There's still a bit of annoyance, but not nearly to the level that it was on release. Aside from those issues, Chaos Island is a perfectly fine open zone and is just as addicting as the other islands on this list. It has an amazing supersonic boss fight with debatably the best song in the game. There's a fun item collecting minigame from Tales that I really like, and there's tons of variety in the environment, from snowy mountains to volcanoes to what seems like burned down forests. You get the picture, it's a fun time. For number 3, we have Ouranos Island Original. After you get past the initial disappointment of, aw man, it's Kronos again, you can start enjoying the island for what it is. It's got everything you would want from an open zone. It's got tons of activities, a lot of collectibles, and a great design. I actually really like how this map is designed, not in terms of visuals, but in terms of shape. It's very open, meaning that you have visual clarity on where everything is. There are no mountains in the way, nothing blocking you from seeing everything that this island has to offer, which I appreciate very much because this island takes place after Chaos Island. It's a bit of a nice break. However, the two issues with this open zone are inflation and the final boss. The memory token requirement on this island is just so ridiculous. It's such a high number that you might as well platform until you've had enough, and then you just go hit up big to get the rest of the memory tokens. Because it's not worth playing through every single platforming challenge just to finish the island. Also, the final boss sucks. This was the thing that made me feel so conflicted the first time I played Sonic Frontiers. Because I felt like I just played an amazing Sonic game, but at the very end, somebody just took a fat dump and smeared it across my face. It's like winning $1 million and then finding out your goldfish died. I'm gonna have to hand it to Update 3 Ouranos. They had a much better final boss than whatever this was. In conclusion, Ouranos would have been cool, but they fumbled the bag in quite a few areas. Let's move on. At number 2, we have Kronos Island, the first open zone in the game. And trust me, it's a banger. The tutorial may be a bit tedious on repeat playthroughs, but everything afterwards is a constant high with zero lows. The island is designed well, there's tons of structures with platforming that you can mess around with. What more could you ask for? This island is beautiful. I don't have many criticisms of Kronos Island aside from critiques I have of Sonic Frontiers as a whole. I just think it's truly the peak of the game. Well, actually, there's one more island, but we'll get to that. Kronos is just the perfect introduction to the game. Because if you remember, before Sonic Frontiers, we never had a 3D Sonic game that encouraged Sonic to go in all directions on the map. It's always been a linear hallway at varying degrees. So jumping into Sonic Frontiers and playing Kronos was an insane experience that was like no other. I remember when this game was first coming out and I was a bit skeptical because all the trailers looked kinda mid. It didn't look like that fun of a game. But when I got to Kronos, I quickly realized that against all odds, oh yeah, we finally got a good 3D Sonic game. And while my opinion of the game has shifted ever so slightly, I still think Sonic Frontiers is a fantastic Sonic game. And I will never forget what it was like playing this game on release. It was one of the happiest moments I've ever had with a game. Anyways, enough said, let's move on to the number 1 spot. At our number 1 spot, we have Rhea Island. Bada boom, how surprising. What can I say that hasn't been said already? At the very beginning, you're playing in this little desert area, doing your open zone things. But you can kinda see more of the map off in the distance. And then once you grab your first Chaos Emerald and the game leads you over to the second part of the map, that's when you see just how huge Rhea Island is. It's already big in the first area, but dang does it expand. There's entire platforming obstacle courses that lead off the island, and it's just so huge. And there's so much variety too. You got this desert area from the beginning, and then you got the middle area where all the cool stuff is, and then you got this savanna area, and at night, all the cactuses start glowing. And they shoot fireworks. That is insane. And just when you thought you saw it all, the environment changes again once you go to fight the Titan. Again, playing this game on release and already being blown away by Kronos Island and then heading into Ares just solidifies the game for you. Just like Kronos Island, I have no critiques here aside from the general Sonic Frontiers critiques. There's no annoying part of the island, nothing that drags on or is too short. Everything is great. Zero low points. At the end of the day, Rhea Island is great, and the rest of the islands are also great in their own ways. Even the ones I kinda ripped into, like Ouranos Update 3 and Rhea Island. Every open zone has some redeemable factors. So I'm opening up the discussion. Let me know in the comments below your rankings of the Sonic Frontiers islands. I'm curious to see what you guys will say, especially since I can see a lot of these islands being very flexible on your guys' lists. Anyways, with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe with the bell. I love you guys. I'll see you very soon. Peace out. My chill members are Snack Pigeon, Sonopedia, ArcherXYZ, SonicMan715, Francis T218, Neil, David J. Chavaz. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that. Make sure to let me know down below if you're watching. Super Shags, Boom, Pie Studios, Snicks, Bananas, Chip Chap Chop, The Squeaker Nerd, and Super Saiyan Sonic. Thank you all for supporting my show. Make sure to click one of the in-card screen videos here. Love you guys. Peace out.